Okay folks, this is a recap of the meetup we did, the meetup in the bar in Liverpool last week. So what we did, we looked at the character scheme, i.e. the 5 characters that appear in every story. And the 2 stories we looked at were Shawshank Redemption and Drive. The lead is the hero, the heroine, the protagonist, the villain is the antagonist, the baddie, the problem person. The mirror is the friend, it's the person you talk to so that it's not a monologue. On a stage play, often the mirror is the audience. For a lonely character, the mirror is often an actual mirror, or nothing, or your diary. We often get the diary or the voiceover takes the place of the mirror, i.e. who do we confide in? The goal is the love interest. So I'm doing this to win your hand, my lady, or monsieur. And the mentor is the teacher, the wise one, the Obi-Wan Kenobi, the Merlin. In Shawshank it's a bit strange because we were split over whether the hero was Andy, the white guy, or Red, the black guy. Now I would say that the film is presented as if Andy is the hero, but when you look at it structurally, it really feels like it's Red, Morgan Freeman, who's the hero, the lead. That it's about his story. He was in prison when he was impacted by this white guy who gave him hope. And at the end, he hopes. But it's not really presented to us like that. It's presented to us as if it's Andy. So I'm going to say that the main hero is Andy. You would say that he was perhaps the lead, really, in that movie. I think this dual protagonist thing comes from the fact that it's not been written for the movies. It was a book adapted, so perhaps in the book Red is clearly the lead, but in the movie it's a story about Andy. Once upon a time a guy was accused of killing his wife, goes to prison, gets out. Spoiler alert. But let's do it in 2 ways. We'll do it in the first way that Andy is the lead, and in the second way that Red is the lead. So lead is Andy, the villain is the warden, the mirror is either none, because he hasn't got really any friends in prison, or Red. But we can't say it's definitely Red. It's really none. But anyway, the goal, now you could argue that his dead wife is the goal. And what I mean by that is, obviously his goal in the movie is to escape, but the dead wife was his lover. So that's what the goal was there. And then the mentor is Red. So the mentor is the one who guides him, who is his Merlin, who teaches him how to survive the whole prison system. So if Red was the lead, if you want to view it like that, and you can, if you're in a play or a film, you can place yourself as the lead and work out your scheme according to if you were the lead, but you always have to know who the real lead is. If you're Horatio, you can say, well, my mirror's Hamlet's, but don't forget, it's Hamlet's story. Okay, so if the lead was Red, same villain, the warden. The mirror is none. Even though Red is sort of popular, he's got no real friends. But you could put brackets Andy, because they do begin a sort of friendship, but it's, they're of different ages, different class statuses. They're not actually mirrors of each other. They learn from each other. One teaches one and one teaches the other. The goal, none. There's no goal character. Obviously Red wants to, what does Red want? Because in a way he wants to stay put. He wants to be safe. He wants to give up. And then that goal changes to he wants to live, he has hope. The mentor, well, his mentor becomes Andy, who teaches him not to give up, to have hope. Okay, so the second one we looked at was Drive. So it's very clear who the hero is in Drive. It's Ryan, it's the driver. The villain is Bernie, we talked about, who's the head baddie that he has to deal with. The mirror is, at first we were saying none, then someone had this great suggestion that the mirror could be the child of the woman he's in love with. Like he sees this child in this terrible relationship and he sees himself reflected in that child. And that would sort of work, because one of Ryan Gosling's things is he's always like the boy man. He never really plays grown-ups. Also, he bounces off the radio a lot, so in a way the mirror is his emotions on the radio. The goal is, I think she was called Irene, Carey Mulligan. So very clear goal, very clear hero. When the movie is more of a B movie, when it's more simplistic, it is clearer. And also when it's, American films are generally clearer than European films. And the mentor in Drive is the guy that runs the garage thing, that gets him work, that guides him. He's like a corrupt mentor, like a dark mentor, because he's obviously teaching him the ways of crime. So just to go through that again, so Shawshank, lead, Andy, villain, warden, mirror, non, goal, dead wife, mentor, Red, or if Red's the lead, Red, villain, warden, mirror, non, or Andy, goal, non, mentor, Andy. It's important that they have no, in a way, mirror, because there's two guys trapped in prison, in a way. Drive, lead, Ryan Gosling, villain, Bernie, Albert Brooks, I think the actor was, mirror, non, or the kid. The goal, Irene, very clear, which he then chooses to keep away from in order to protect his young mirror, the boy. Mentor, I can't read my own writing now, but Shannon, but anyway, the garage guy. They were my little notes that I took as we went along, very, very formal. Anyway, we'll be doing another meetup in a couple of weeks, looking at what I call the pitch sheet. So another few questions to ask yourself, answer, when you're trying to understand what it is that you're dealing with in a story you might be trying to act in, or write, or just something you've seen on stage or on screen and enjoyed.